What's up, guys? Back in the studio for episode 3 of the walkthrough of the Qontinent Anthem, Running Wild Forever. Today I'm going to show you everything regarding the break, all the layers, all the orchestral stuff. Let's get right into it. Hope you enjoy. Back in the project, this is the break. It's not a very long break. I felt that's always the producer thing that you got to choose. Like, you want to tell a story, but you also want to keep the listener entertained. And not everyone likes a long break. It's that simple. So let me just play the break first, and then I'll go into the separate layers that I used. I muted the vocal for now. Like I said in previous videos, in this project, this is my tutorial project, so I had to go back a few projects to make sure everything was still live, because usually towards the end of the process, I start bouncing things. So maybe also a few things are a bit leveled differently in the final version. But there is still a lot to show here. Usually I always just start the break with a little vibe. So there is just a straight chord that just starts. This is called Ecstasy Pad from my track Into Ecstasy, which is a bit older already. But I still use this pad. It's just a little silent, very simple saw pad that is just being filtered in. And you can hear this is kind of being the main thing that's filling up the break. Then here we have a Reese, of course, for the low end. Also just a serum. Which is filtering, like very subtle. Then you can see I kept the chord straight, but the bass is already doing the notes of the melody, basically. To already create a bit of tension. Because here you already would have the verse on top. Moments, do you remember? That's already creating a bit of tension and not giving away already the full chords. I feel that's already a bit boring if you do that right away. There are a few things that I muted that I didn't even use, but let's go through them. Yeah, you can hear this is not nice. That's why it's muted. Here is a little guitar thingy. Just a little ambient background filler. Scoring guitars, a contact bank, very nice. Then here there is a diva that's doing that little anima kind of afterlife sound. It sounds more nice than it's really super basic. It's just a saw with a bit of filtering and then the auto pan that I automated. But in the total thing, it sounds pretty nice. Then you hear a scream that you would think, oh, that's a bit aggressive, but in the end, in the total thing, kind of gives a nice background vibe. I was a bit inspired by NF. He uses a lot of those scream things in the background with like a weird reverb. So that's what I think is pretty cool to do. And again, the vocal is on top, which is like taking all the attention. So if I turn on the vocal.
Out for all these years,
And then of course this little ad-lib. Here is a drone sample. This is just a random piano thing that is actually already announcing the start of the track as well. So that sets the tone right away, so you recognize right away that it's this track. Regarding effects, that's basically the vibe in the beginning of the break. So you come out of the mid-intro. White noise sweep from our good friend Kashmir. And a little, I'll go over this in the kicks video, but just a little FX kick with delay. It's just a serum kick. Then as the break progresses, we get some more layers. These are some vocal soloists. Not just contact banks. And the total thing you can hear there are really soft in the background. Mute the vocal again. Then here you can already notice a piano that's already doing a little bit of teasing of the melody. And you can hear I really deliberately put those notes a bit off the grid. And you can see here that I already played with the velocity to make it a bit more, a bit less like a plugin and a bit more realistic. Then here's just a little FX cinematic percussion. Yeah, pretty standard slam sound. Here is a little heartbeat sample. Very subtle. With no processing at all. Didn't need it. Here we have the group with the shouts that I already showed you in the lead video. So they are already being introduced when the chorus starts. So they really give that, yeah, not aggressive, but like, okay, the action is gonna start here. I also named this group Spannend, which is like exciting, like, because I wanted to create a bit of tension here. First, I had more like a piano part here to really get the emotional feeling. And then I was like, yeah, this does feel a bit too sad. And then I turned it into this more tension kind of feeling. So if I just play that group on its own, then you can hear these are all layers that I added to bring more tension in the feeling. And it's just for 8 bars. Because from here, there you go into that part where he's saying like, if we could stay just a little longer, we'd never say goodbye. So I'm like, yeah, there needs to be some more feeling there. So that's why that part is just on those 8 bars. It is, again, oh, this is a different one. A choir stab. It's just doing that first note of the chord. Yeah, just to give a little impact on the slam. There is a brass, which sounds really dumb on its own. It's more like a ship horn, but if you combine it with the right things, like if I turn these on, See, there's this little stutter sound. So it's just a sample. Then a little, or not that little, another brass sample that I just layered with my clean brass. Also here you get the shouts on top. And here there are even the cinematic perks as well. So they are also adding extra impact. And then there is even Avix kicks on top as well. And I'm sure there is also sweeps. Let me just fold this for now. So that's just the white noise. Again, my whoosh sound that I always put on the melody when it starts. Just a classic hit that I just low cut to just have a little whoosh, little impact in the high end. A hull kick. Yes, I just put that over the low end. I didn't really have to cut any bass out or anything. So here it's just only that dark group. There's even a group called Plugs Extra. These plugs are actually from Laurent, that works with me at Byte Audio Works. These were used for a reverse intro, so credits to him for these plugs. So this is a bit of a uncomfortable sounding plug, but again, to build more tension. And then this is really like the Tenet vibe, like the movie. The preset is actually called Tenet. But if you focus on that sound on its own, if I turn it up, it really gives that epic vibe to it. And then here, like I said, we go into a bit more of feeling part. Again, if I turn on the vocals. Meanwhile, these drums are getting a bit more action to it as well. These drums are actually from the track Price We Pay from my album. I was working on it back then. These are Sound Paint, really nice plugin. As you can hear, they are clipping. So they just needed to sound aggressive. So that's drums. Then we have some sweeps again. Let me check. Yeah, there's just a riser towards the end. So just my pitch sweep. And a little boom on the Running Wild. So not that crazy regarding like sweeps and stuff. It works pretty well to do a boom on this last sentence, but make sure it's not too heavy because you don't want to take away impact from this chorus part. So it's just a subtle low end feeling, basically, instead of being like a really on the Running Wild forever. You don't want to do that. Oh yeah, here is another pad. So that's just following that vocal line, basically. We could stay just a little longer. Yeah, almost following it. If I play it with the vocal. We could stay I'll just turn it up a bit. So that's a little, again, like this, the same with the Leeds video. There's just some little accent melodies that I put in the background, like to make it a bit more interesting, but not distract from the overall feeling. And then here's just a clean bass instead of the Reese. That's just following the... Just following the overall chords. That brass is also following the bass line. Yeah, very subtle in the background. And here there is called just more like a screech. Just to stretch the sound that I forgot. Here is a contact thing that I froze or recorded. So just some mechanical screamy sound. To just build more tension. Oh, and I see I forgot those two. And here's a little stabby kick. So these kind of things, I just use a utility to just gain it. Just easy. And here there were two like Reese kind of sounds. Yeah, just a very simple in it again. But it filled up that little part here. It's all very subtle. I hear like a little arrangement thing that should happen there. So, so that's basically the loop. This is really simple, just some bassy. Just simple sound with a filter on it. That's just moving. And here that's just pitching up. And then I probably, So I linked the pitch bend, so the pitch bend wheel to the LFO rate. So when it goes up, it gets that effect. So... So when you move the pitch bend wheel, then that LFO on the filter also increases. Then again, this FX kick just keeps on slamming in the background. And then here are some more FX kicks. So this is QL scheurtjes, which basically means rips. I just call those like, those screeching, ripping FX kicks. I call them like that. QL, so that's from a session that I did when I was doing the Climax Anthem. As you can see, there is material for 14 albums. I can just go through it a bit. So that was a big sound design session, and I just record everything, and then I just cut parts out of it. And then it sounds like that in the track. Just some OTT on it, low cut, because I didn't want to have the muddy low end over all the other low end that was already going on. Yeah, if you just make a long recording of sound design and then you cut into it, then it sounds a lot more exciting than it actually is, because these are just audio chops with some panning left, right. I usually just do one in the middle, one left, right, and then I really just do again the trick of like random scrolling through the waveform. And then of course just make sure they are in the right key. Doesn't have to be the right key as long as it fits with the overall thing. Because of course it's all distorted and resonating and stretched and weird shit going on. So just make sure that you double check that it doesn't sound out of key at least. These FX kicks are muted. I guess I muted them, or maybe I unmuted them in the final project. This is just my FX kicks from my track AM/PM. This is again just a serum thingy. So it's like a multi-adjustable FX kick. So you can just draw this filter here, just to cut off. And I use that in a lot of tracks. I like to just make that like a returning thing in my productions. I think I went over everything. There is a reverb of the vocal that I muted for now. Drums is not that exciting for now. Just crashes on the impact. I also put a little stadium clap. I have no idea why I did that on the crash. As you can see, just 4 stadium claps with reverb. Just panned a bit. So left, right, left, right. So if it's like I need more stadium sound, just put 5 claps or 4 in this case. And that's also playing on this little build-up. If I would have done this right now, then I would have changed this rack to build in some kind of random function. If I would have done this clap right now, let's say I was working on this track right now, then I would have made this thing into a random rack. I'll go into that more in another video, but you can basically set this up to have it trigger a different sample or trigger a sample in different positions or even pitch it up each hit. So you built in like a random function. So every MIDI trigger, it will, like a real hand clap, it will trigger a different sample or a different position. So then it would have been even more realistic. Totally nerd shit, but it's kind of stuff I like. And then we just have some snare going on here. Just my standard snare. And there are 2 more snares following along. So this is being filtered. Here you can, this is a bit more clear. So these are actually 3, like this snare you hear in the track are actually 3 snares on top of each other. So this is the snare. It's my normal 909 sounding snare with another excellent snare and then 1 noisia snare. So 3 snares on top of each other. A Moonboy rack that I bought from his bundle. Very nice rack to, it's actually for synths, but I just threw it on this snare. Very nice to just beef up samples. Then some high low cut filter thing. I don't know where it's moving. Probably somewhere in the track it's being automated. And then a little reverb. Yeah, some parts are like being reused in the beginning, of course, when you have the introduction. Here I hear another sound that is only here. So this is just the Omnisphere ARP. Or yeah, it's like a weird synth that I played an ARP with. So just a simple... Just a preset I liked. Again, creating already some tension in the beginning of the track. And here I see a horn. That is my Serum horn. That I also made for the Climax Anthem. It's just the init with reverb and OTT, very simple. But somehow it sounds very disturbing. Yeah, I use the lead background also here. But yeah, that's nothing new that's being added. So I think I went over everything. We did sub, stabbing sounds, plucks, background sounds, drums. That's it regarding the breaks. All right, guys, that was it for this video. Once again, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. And feedback, always welcome. In the next video, I'm gonna do some kick stuff and discuss a bit the mid-intro sound design stuff. I think you guys are gonna like that one. See you all soon in the next video. Leave a nice like, a comment, and I'll see you guys soon.